Are Manchester United actually as bad as people think? Because according to Ruben Amorim and some others at the club, they have data which shows they're actually doing very well. And you can see it here in The Athletic. He's referenced it several times, saying, "We are playing well until we reach the boxes. We need to be more clinical. If you see the number of shots, the XG, all of these things are good." But are they? Well, I've got news for you, buddy, because actually, yes, they have the highest XG of any team in the league. That's good. They have created the most shot-creating actions per 90 of any team. In fact, according to Opta's expected points model, United should be 4th in the table, which is much higher than obviously where they actually are. The underlying data shows that Man United got worse under Amorim, but they are getting better. It's much better than we think. Or is it? Because the following is also true. United have the worst shot conversion of any team. But this was their problem last season as well. They weren't taking their chances, they weren't being clinical. So Amorim is right. And they spent £232 million-ish to fix this in the summer. So why are they so bad at scoring despite having all these talented players? Well, I watched every single one of United's shots this season to find out why. And what I saw with my eyes, I couldn't believe it was true. They keep shooting from absolutely stupid positions, and the data plays out. So 25% of their shots in the Premier League this season have been from just like miles out of the box, just shooting from really far out. There's a weird 8% on this right space here. Who shoots from there? Who scores from there? No one scores from there, really. 12% of this bit here, I would imagine you could put down almost entirely to Brown and Bumo getting the ball there. And then the 16% around the penalty area is actually quite good. That's where you want the ball. But that could be corners. Also, I mean, Sesko had about 3 touches before he scored a goal against Brentford the other day. All of this bit here is fine, this is not good. But why are they shooting from so far out all of the time? Well, I'm going to try and show you why and what is happening and what is going on, all the whys. This is Sesko running towards goal against Brentford, who they lost to. He is shown why by the defender, that's the right thing to do. He gets a shot away from inside the box, that counts from inside the box there. Now this is Matheus Cunha, outside the box, been shown why, he loses his footing, but he shoots from wide areas. He had other options, he had a wide player on, just does that. Again, I don't hate it, but it's not perfect. This is what we see United do a lot of. Again, this is against Brentford. This is Cunha. He drives towards goal. He's got options here. He can slide in Mbumo like this if he runs there. He could also just try and play it wide to Sesko, who really wants the ball. He could wait for someone to make this run in here. There's lots and lots of options. There's no wing back there, obviously, but he's got lots of options here. But you know what happens? Well, I think you know what happens. He shoots, and he does not score. It's blocked. Basically, I can show you any number of different games. It's only Brentford, but I've got examples from every single team where this happens. They run towards goal. Bruno Fernandes here against Chelsea. He gets to the final third, and of course, he shoots. That's what he does. He doesn't score. This is what keeps happening. And I think what we need to look at here and what's happening is that the high number of XG that United are generating, it is a large number of chances, not a large number of good chances. So which is why their shots per goals on target is so low. They're shooting from places you're not going to score from, and that is in turn meaning they're losing the ball. Because if you wait for the wing backs to catch up and get into more of an attacking shape in the final third, well, the defence will get back and be organised and you can't break them down. And so what you want is get a shot away. And so if you score, that's good. If you don't, which happens almost all of the time, then you don't score and then you lose the ball. But then you start seeing the structural issues. All this space opens up because what you've got is the wing backs charging forward to get up there. They're not really sure if they should get up there. By the time they get there, the ball has been shot and they don't get involved. Why do you want to keep running up and down this wing if that's what's going to keep happening to you? It's not very fun. But of course, it's very important the wing backs are in those positions, even though they have to keep going up and down to maintain it, because you lose the shape. You lose a lot of your support network. Your passes don't have another option to go to. And so what we see here, an example against Brentford again, is Harry Maguire bypassing the midfield with a lovely pass, because the midfield just doesn't really matter, doesn't need to be involved in this Amorim team. And what you have here is the pass is going to Diogo Dalot, who's playing at right wing back. He's moved inside, which is why Mbumo is out wide, holding the width. So it's a subtle change that Amorim's made here. Maybe the players made the decision, I don't know. But you can see the structure is in place. They've managed to bypass the Brentford midfield. This is a good ball and a good chance on goal. So what you have now is individuals have to make the right decision and make the right pass. Dalot drives towards goal. This is what Amorim's team keeps doing. Drives towards goal. Sesko wants the pass. He wants it. He's showing for it. The pass has to come in, just wait it across him, take it with his left foot and get on at goal. He pauses, he waits, he delays. He then plays a short pass to Sesko, who receives it. Now he's got a defender right in front of him. The ball's further in front of him than he wants it. He has to take a touch. Everything's slowed down, and he shoots from far out. And it doesn't score, obviously, because that's what happens every single time. And the thing is, because of how the wing-backs play, and no matter who's wide and who's keeping the structure, the shape ends up being not a 3-4-3 and all the various guises it takes on. It becomes a back five with a one protecting a huge amount of space and another one further out. And oftentimes they're in the same position. The midfield just doesn't really work. And then a three, a further separated three. So you're creating all this space behind. The wing backs are never sure when to push forward. They're never really in line with the midfield should be. They're never really in line with the strikers, and you kind of need that up there. And because of all these structural issues, and also because Amorim wants his players to be playing quick and direct, they end up near the box quickly, they've got chances to shoot, and they take them early. And that is why their expected goals numbers are so high. That's why the other metrics don't look great. They're taking shots you're probably not going to score. They don't have players around them to support, to help with the press. They don't have the wing backs in the right position. The midfield can't come up to support. So when the ball goes forward, there's just this sort of line and then a huge amount of space behind them, which is where they're vulnerable to counterattacks. Basically, this 3-4-3 that we refer to Amorim's system as being, it never really is. It tends to actually be more of a 5-2-3 or a 5-1-1-3. It's very disparate and separate. There's a lot of space in the middle. And other teams are making it that way because they know how Amorim is going to play and what United's players are going to do. So this is an example against Fulham. So here are Fulham on the ball. As you can see, United have players here. They've got one, this is not a false nine, this is a deeper player marking the pivot for Fulham. You have the two wing backs who are back here, and the problem they've got is that there are tensions created by where Fulham have played their players, specifically these ones. So the left wing back is being pinned by this winger here. You've got this right wing back, I think it's Ahmad there, is being pinned by this wing back here. Then you've got your three central defenders. Now the way that Amorim wants his defenders to work is to press these ones here. But if you drop these players just a bit deeper, they don't know whether to stay or go. They don't know if they want to come all the way here. If they come all the way here in a man-to-man, they're going to leave loads of risky space in behind. And so what they do is they end up leaving them, which gives Fulham time on the ball, and they could have a bit of fun with Alex Iwobi especially, finding loads of space between the lines. It's not ideal. And this is all just a thing that Marco Silva organised to make sure they'd have space, players in the right space, and drag, or rather keep United's defenders where they want them to, keep them in the 5. If you don't have the wing-backs going forward, when you get the ball forward, you don't have any options. And actually, in this situation, what happens is United win the ball high up. The front 5 jumps, they win the ball. You've got Casemiro and Fernandes in exactly the same position. Again, this happens constantly, always in the same position. They win the ball, push it forward to Cunha. This is a good chance, and he shoots. And it goes out. It's not a goal. Again, same thing. Early shot. He's got Mbumo making the run. He's got Mount on the left here. Don't have the wing backs in place because they're pinned, but this is what we keep seeing. They don't have the structure, and that's kind of what they need. And all of this kind of leads to why this data looks so poor. Their shot conversion is the worst. Their expected goals underperformance is also the worst, which is not ideal. And all that leads to, and especially how direct they are and how open they are, the opposition getting really high value chances against them, which is why their non-penalty expected goals conceded is also it's the second worst. It's really, really poor. But playing direct against teams like Chelsea, Man City and Arsenal, who they've had to play in their first 6 games, by the way, is the right way to play against them. Man City don't like it, Arsenal do not like it, Chelsea don't like it. This is United going direct against Chelsea from a goal kick. The ball's absolutely launched towards Seshko, who knocks the ball onto Mbumo, who gets in behind. Sanchez comes off his line, wipes him out. Red card. United are in the ascendancy. And there are signs of improvement. For example, did you know that United have only lost the ball in their own third 11 times, which is a massive improvement from last season? But the reason they've only lost the ball in their own third 11 times is because they are shelling the ball long. They have the 5th most long balls. They're going direct. This is all on purpose. Because this United 5-1-1-3, it's not a 3-4-3, it's not a 3-4-2-1 most of the time. It's mostly they're in the back 5. And if you compare that to a team in the Premier League who are playing what we think is the same system, we can start to see the differences. Crystal Palace use a 3-4-3. And here it is. The difference is that when they defend, the back 5 drop in and it becomes more of a 5-4-1. And they just wait. One of the midfielders steps out to help with the press either side. And then when they break, they can get it to Mateta, who waits. And these guys absolutely burn up the pitch as fast as they can with real desire, determination and aggression. That's what you want. But United don't. Their wing-backs get stuck back. They defend with a front 3, with a 2. And teams keep finding space in wide areas, so the ball ends up in these areas here. It's easy to go play through their pressing unit as well, and they also play far too far apart from them. So oftentimes you'll get them trying to press like this sort of shape, and there's a huge amount of space in behind, and you have this big amount of space that you can play in. Whereas Palace keep everyone largely the same. They might mid-block, they don't sit deep all the time, they mid-block quite a lot, and they're just compact. That's the difference. They can do this and then they attack in a similar way. And actually Crystal Palace's shooting numbers aren't that wildly different to United's. It's just that when they get to the final third, they have more options because the wing backs are in the right positions. And then they're absolutely crucial to make this sort of a system work. All the width comes from their wing backs. And I think we can see this specifically in settled possessions, or especially attacking possession. Here is United against the mighty Burnley. Here they are, you've got Casemiro on the ball. Now, what you don't have are two wing-backs like Crystal Palace would have. They'd be pushed up really high and wide. That's where they need to be at this exact moment in time. Got a front three, two midfielders, that's fine. The centre-backs are a lot further back. But the wing-backs are still not in play. I keep going through this move. The centre-backs are still not in play. And by the time this happens, he takes a shot. So Man Utd's taking a shot from here. I don't mind people shooting from long range. I quite like it. Bring it back, I say. But in this position, United should be playing out wide, but they don't have any other options. He's got no other options to play. His other option in this situation is to turn back and play back to his midfield, who would then have no other options because there's no one wide in the right position at the right time. This is what we keep seeing. And if we bring all this together, we can loop back to the start and I can make sense of everything I've said so far. Here is Bruno Fernandes on the ball. You've got Ugarte next to him. This is kind of fine. Look, and you've got your back three. This is fine. You've got your two wing backs. Everyone's in position, everyone's ready to go. Now Fernandes runs into the same position as where Ugarte is. You can see the midfield is completely empty, the wing backs are still in position, this is all fine. They eventually get into the final third, and once again, it's our hero Dorgu who's got into the final third. But they escape out of that situation, and Dorgu, the right wing back, who we've seen earlier, he'll move inside from being wide, attacks the space where you've got Mbeumo out wide. Again, everything's fine. And Dalot now could play this pass into Cunha, or he could play this ball in behind to Sesko, who's running in behind, or he's got this ball out to Mbeumo. That's what happens. So the ball, where does it go? It goes slightly behind Cunha, the weight of the pass is wrong, that's an individual error, that's not Amorim's fault, that's the quality of the wing back in the pass. Cunha loses the ball, it's not a foul, Brentford win the ball. And then straight away, as you maybe have seen this already, Jordan Henderson looks up and pings an absolutely beautiful pass all the way over the top of the back line, and they end up scoring the goal. Now, if we look at the reverse angle of what we see here, we can see all the things we're talking about all at once. Because you've got a back three who are trying to push up, but they're not really close enough to the front five, who are completely isolated from everyone else. One wing back is here, he's gone up here. The other wing back is not there, so there's no real width, because Mbeumo's playing inside, so it's minimal width rather than trying to actually stretch the pitch, which is kind of what made Sporting's thing work in the first place. Then you've got two midfielders trying to cover all of the space. So by the time that Jordan Henderson gets the ball and they play the offside trap, you've got players like De Ligt and Maguire who are not fast enough to retreat and make up that space quick enough. So that's your problem straight away. So Amorim's system, he's having to tweak it for the players. They are not executing it very well, and he has individuals who just aren't really of the standard, or specifically the speed to be able to play this in the way he wants. And so even though the data suggests improvement, what we see on the pitch is not that, because it's leading to end-to-end play, which is creating loads of problems in these situations because of how much space they're giving their opponents and how unvaluable those chances they're creating by going forward are. Sometimes the ball will knock off Sesko's head and someone will run in behind and they'll score. That will happen. But mostly when they get to the final third, the wing backs aren't in the right position, and when they are, they don't make the right decision, and the ball ends up turning over, and the wing backs are too high. And then you've got a back three who aren't quick enough to get back, a midfield two who can't cover the spaces. None of it really works in the system that Amorim is playing. His system might actually work, but the individuals within it do not. And that'll be not a surprise to anyone who's watching this. But the data does show that they're improving. The numbers are all getting better. The data suggests, not what your eyes see, but you can maybe trust the computer. Maybe the computer is right. And also, they've had some injuries. They're integrating lots of new players into a very high pressure situation. And they've had to play 3 of the top 6 already. But they did lose very fairly to Grimsby. And also, getting the ball forward quickly with absolutely no support to those up front, leading to loads of transitional goals and chances conceded, is almost exactly what Erik ten Hag did. It's not ideal. And so we must ask ourselves the question, are Manchester United actually as bad as people think? Yes. But it might work, you don't know, it might work.
If you like this video, please consider subscribing to the channel. The Athletic is home to some of the world's best sports journalists, including David Ornstein, Amy Lawrence and James Horncastle. With the latest transfer news and insight on every Premier League story that matters, theathletic.com puts you inside football, and you can try it free now for 30 days. See the link in the description.